What I'm about to show you are 3 examples of 3 ministers in the Israeli government that should make it clear that Israel is an oppressor, that Zionism is genocidal, and that supporting Israel puts you on the wrong side of history. Let's get started. This is Bezalel Smotrich, Israel's finance minister who's in charge of their illegal settlements in the West Bank. And a few months ago, he promised that for every country who recognizes Palestine as a state, he will build a new illegal settlement for each and every one of them. And so far this year, 5 countries have recognized Palestine for the first time ever: Spain, Norway, Ireland, Slovenia, and Armenia. 2 weeks ago, Smotrich approved those 5 new illegal settlements. And you need to understand that when a new settlement gets built in the West Bank, they cleanse the land of Palestinians and don't let them return. This is Palestinian land. This is not Israel. His land theft is one of the biggest thefts of Palestinian land in recent history. He makes it clear that he does not want peace with the Palestinians. He wants them eradicated. And he makes sure that the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinians continues, that their oppression continues. So let's move on to the next example. This is Itamar Ben-Gvir. He's Israel's Minister of National Security. And to understand this example, we first need to talk about the Stede Tiemann detainment camp. This camp's located inside of Israel and holds detained Palestinians. And over the past couple months, dozens of whistleblowers have come forward talking about what is actually going on at that camp, including Israeli doctors who treated some of the detained Palestinians there, who talked about how they had to do routine amputations to these prisoners, cutting off their hands because they were treated and tortured so badly that they got handcuff injuries that had to be amputated. They talked about how they made the prisoners strapped down in beds and fed through straws. Released Palestinians came forward and talked about how they were sodomized. Look it up if you don't know what that means. It's brutal. These released Palestinians talked about how the IDF had their dogs pee on the prisoners and how they weren't allowed to wear any clothes. CNN went there and took photos of what's going on. They torture Palestinians at this camp. It's a torture camp. So now that we understand what this camp is, you can now understand what I'm about to show you. 3 days ago, Ben-Gvir wrote an essay on X talking about imprisoned Palestinians, and the translation of this essay is horrifying, and I want to show you it. He addresses the reports of torture at that camp, to which he says, everything published about the abominable conditions of these vile murderers in prison was true. They ruled the prisons without question and did whatever they pleased. He goes on to say that since he became the Minister of National Security, one of his biggest goals was to worsen the conditions of the terrorists in prisons and to reduce the rights to the minimum required by law. He then wraps up this essay with a solution for the problem of overcrowding at Israeli prisons, to which he suggests the simple solution of enacting the death penalty for terrorists, which would solve the overcrowding issue. You just saw Israel's Minister of National Security admit that Israel tortures the Palestinians that they detain, and I want to remind you that Israel is arbitrarily arresting military-aged men in Gaza, and that most of these detainees are released, even at camps like Stede Tiemann, but they still get pissed on by the IDF's dogs. They still get beat up. They still get their arms amputated. They still have to drink through a straw. They still get sodomized. And they still get killed at Stede Tiemann. Over 24 Palestinian detainees have been killed this year alone. These guys are old Zionists. They don't have value for a Palestinian's life. He's willing to just kill Palestinians they detained, who haven't even been tried. Our last example is Amichai Eliyahu, Israel's Minister of Heritage, who's been pushing for Israel to reoccupy the Sinai Peninsula. Here's something he reposted. It's a t-shirt with an outline of Israel that includes the Sinai Peninsula, and in Hebrew it says occupation now. These 3 men are all Zionist oppressors. They all hold powerful positions in Israel's government. They all contribute to the oppression, to the ethnic cleansing, and they want the Palestinians to be erased. They would be happy if they were able to achieve that. I hope what I said at the beginning of this video came true, that this made it crystal clear to you, if it wasn't already, that Israel is an oppressor, that Zionism is genocidal, and that supporting them puts you on the wrong side of history. There's no morality in it. These men are Zionism's leaders. Make sure you repost and copy the link on this video so more people hear this message. And if you want to support me, I'm going to college this fall, and if you want to help me out, you can go to my bio. Thank you, and free Palestine.